There's a lot on offer when it comes to the best single-player games on Game Pass, and every game in this video is a prime example of its genre and will give you a top-notch solo experience. Any Xbox player who laments God of War's absence on Xbox should give Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice a chance. Developed by Ninja Theory, whose repertoire includes Heavenly Sword and Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, Hellblade is an intense action-adventure game set in a Norse mythology-inspired fantasy world. In Hellblade, a woman named Senua travels to Helheim to bring back her deceased lover. Along the way, Senua faces horrors, puzzles, and tough enemies. Hellblade received critical acclaim after its release, in part for its phenomenal narrative and gorgeous artwork. A sequel, Hellblade II: Senua's Saga, is set to release in May 2024 and will be exclusive to Xbox and Windows thanks to Microsoft's purchase of Ninja Theory. Before Alan Wake 2, the Remedy Entertainment renaissance began in 2019 with this astonishingly confident and technically adept action-adventure set in a strange, modernist nightmare, part spy thriller, part cubist horror. Control is a game about what happens when architecture turns against you. As Jesse Faden, an agent of the Federal Bureau of Control, you explore the confounding, bigger-on-the-inside oldest house, the paranormal headquarters of the FBC, which is under attack from a malevolent force intent on corrupting reality itself. This is all pretty heady stuff, and Remedy delivers it with its usual cinematic eye, technical polish, and storytelling prowess. The game is loaded with references that connect its universe to that of the Alan Wake games, if you want to join some dots. In combat, Control is a pretty enjoyable third-person shooter, but the real fun is in the non-linear exploration of the oldest house's impossible spaces. Lies of P is the latest Souls-like hit and one that surprisingly didn't come from Software. It was developed by NeoWiz Games and Round 8 Studio, with each developer definitely understanding the assignment. Lies of P currently has an 80 Metacritic score and was praised for its difficulty and customization. Lies of P is inspired by the classic tale The Adventures of Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. As Pinocchio, players can choose to lie throughout the story, which can influence what ending they get. Altogether, Lies of P is one of the most fascinating takes on Pinocchio's story yet, and a great Souls-like for beginners. A Plague Tale: Requiem enlarges the conflict we were introduced to in its predecessor, and while some may prefer the smaller-scale encounters and narrative beats experienced in Innocence, there's no denying the scope of what Asobo Studios attempts in its sequel. Amisha and Hugo are back, with even more aggressive enemies to contend with and a political conflict to get embroiled in. Amisha is clearly capable of handling things as Requiem leans in toward the combat aspect of its gameplay. Requiem feels like one of Sony's iconic narrative-driven games, and the performances for each character are incredible. If you're an Xbox fan but have been feeling like you're missing out on single-player experiences, A Plague Tale: Requiem is a good place to start. Released back in 2020, Doom Eternal offers a satisfyingly violent yet meticulously designed first-person shooter experience. Doom Eternal's rapid, pulse-pounding gameplay marries balletic motion with over-the-top demon-slaying carnage. The title looks and feels incredible. Every gunshot and every guitar riff cohere wonderfully with the back-and-forth of Doom Eternal's rhythmic gunplay. Beloved writer Terry Pratchett is purported to have said, "Over the centuries, mankind has tried many ways of combating the forces of evil: prayer, fasting, good works, and so on. Up until Doom, no one seemed to have thought about the double-barrel shotgun." The late, great author was onto something. Inside Doom Eternal's overblown story of cosmic horror and demonic invasion is a chance to experience real, tangible catharsis. To this day, I am convinced that few things in gaming feel as good as blowing a cacodemon to smithereens. The original Batman game in the Arkham trilogy, Arkham Asylum, set the bar for what fans should expect out of a superhero game. While Arkham Knight wasn't as critically received as the first game, even for casual Batman fans, it still serves as a fantastic conclusion to the series. Everything from the plot to the combat and visuals holds up years after release, which is a testament to Rocksteady's impeccable design. The game's propulsive combo system is still second to none, and the story does a great job getting players up to speed, even if they haven't played the first two games in the trilogy. Batman: Arkham Knight represents nearly a decade of innovation and iteration in the open-world superhero genre, and shouldn't be missed. Mass Effect: Legendary Edition contains the entire Mass Effect trilogy, but with graphical improvements and quality-of-life changes that give the classic series a new lease on life. In Mass Effect, you play as Commander Shepard, a spaceship captain in the 2180s. You'll have access to a deep and rewarding RPG experience from the get-go. You'll meet an intriguing ensemble of supporting characters, each with a story to tell. You'll jet about the galaxy, fighting baddies and solving mysteries. You'll also be forced to make tough choices, selecting from dialogue options that meaningfully impact the story. As with any great sci-fi, Mass Effect uses its setting to explore difficult themes and then uses those themes to set up a compelling and surprisingly dark central narrative. As you make difficult choices during the game's core missions, you'll be forced to confront the consequences of your actions down the line. I've lost count of the number of times I've played through the Mass Effect trilogy, but thanks to the game's emphasis on player choice, each playthrough has always felt personal and bespoke. It takes a special indie game to find mainstream success in an industry dominated by shooters and battle royales, yet that may undersell just how great of a game Hollow Knight is. Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania game where players play as the knight as they explore the Hallownest. Along the way, players will encounter tough fights and plenty of world building. Add in the charm system, which allows players to customize their knight's abilities to fine-tune the game to their playing style, and the result is one of the best games in recent memory. Hollow Knight Void Heart Edition bundles Hollow Knight and each of its DLC expansions that were released at the time, adding more levels, enemies, and bosses to overcome. Players who have yet to play Hollow Knight, look no further than Hollow Knight Void Heart Edition. Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda has already reaped dividends, and the arrival of Deathloop on Xbox Game Pass is yet another trophy of the deal. Xbox Series X owners can now play Arkane's highly stylized time loop title. Players are thrust into the confused mind of Colt Vaughn as he wakes up on a beach only to realize he's been stuck on an island that is going through a recursive loop every day. His job? To break the loop. Several elements of Arkane's immersive sim formula can be found in Deathloop, but a lot of them have been streamlined to make way for a PvP experience. Other players can invade your game as a character named Juliana, who is intent on preserving the loop. It's a fun title, and one that signals Arkane's willingness to experiment with the genre they are so well known for. Tunic is a classic adventure game in the mold of old-school Zelda. You play as an adorable fox who navigates a charming isometric world. You'll fight enemies, solve puzzles, and unearth ancient mysteries. In short, it's got everything you'd expect from an adventure game. In a particularly delightful flourish, Tunic has you reconstruct the game's manual as you progress through the world. Mystery and adventure are baked into every aspect of Tunic's gameplay, design, and presentation. Beneath all that, however, lies a deceptively technical and engrossing combat system. Overall, it's a great solo experience, a fine choice for anybody looking for a good old-fashioned adventure. Ori and the Blind Forest is an unforgettable Metroidvania-style platform exclusive to Xbox. This highly regarded title made waves after its release in 2015, eventually spawning the second game in the series, Ori and the Will-o'-the-Wisps, in 2020. Ori is a masterpiece for a multitude of reasons, but its stunning landscapes make it unforgettable. With over 7,000 hand-painted graphics in the game, Johannes Feigelhuber, lead artist, and Blind Forest's team at Moon Studios literally brought their art to life. Ori is a must-play for fans looking to dip their toes into the Metroidvania world and a study of the power of graphic design. Given Quantum Break's status as one of Microsoft's best-selling intellectual properties on Xbox One, it should come as no surprise that this 2016 release is one of Game Pass's best titles. Developed by Remedy Entertainment, Quantum Break pairs third-person shooter mechanics with several innovative features, such as an integrated companion television show, resulting in a modern gaming experience that matches its futuristic tone. After an experiment involving time travel goes horribly wrong, the game's protagonist, Jack Joyce, and his close friend disagree about how to handle the fallout. This sets the events of Quantum Break into motion, as Jack and the player use their new time-traveling abilities to stop the looming end of time. Dead Cells is one of the most finely tuned 2D action platformers ever made, following in the footsteps of classics like Castlevania and Spelunky. The game has players collecting new abilities and powers throughout a given run with the objective of clearing the entire game in a single run. It's not for the faint of heart, but with enough perseverance, Dead Cells is an incredibly rewarding game to play through. With pixel-perfect controls and precision, Dead Cells is an absolute must for fans of the genre. Assassin's Creed Valhalla continued the trend set by Assassin's Creed Origins by creating a massive world with hours upon hours of things to do and choices to make. Some Assassin's Creed fans lamented this shift away from traditional Assassin's Creed, hence why Assassin's Creed Mirage exists, but it's tough to argue that Valhalla isn't an impressive game. Set in Norway and the British Isles during the Viking Age of the 9th century, Valhalla stars Ivar Varinsdottir, a raider who seeks to form a Viking clan, but is swept up in the age-old conflict between the Assassin Brotherhood and the Templars. Valhalla is the long-awaited Viking-era Assassin's Creed game, and its scope, combat, and story don't disappoint. Despite the grim and bloody atmosphere of Diablo IV, playing through the game is actually enjoyable and entertaining. With the trademark dungeon crawling and ARPG looting that the Diablo series is known for, this fourth installment doubles down on the amount of activities that you can get up to and lose yourself in for hours. The grinding on offer in Diablo IV is astounding. You can spend your time exploring the entire map, diving into every dungeon, creating every class of character and experimenting with builds, or just beelining toward the main narrative. In this title, your character has to contend with Lilith, the daughter of hatred, as she tries to help humanity against the forces of hell. Unfortunately for humanity, her help consists of disturbing rituals, allying with some lesser evils, and ultimately a lot of death. So in addition to a lot of content to occupy yourself with, Diablo IV has a pretty gripping narrative too, and you can play the whole thing in both online and local co-op. The Xbox brand might never have taken off without the Halo series, the first-person shooters that helped to popularize local competitive multiplayer on consoles before taking the party online after the launch of Xbox Live. The Master Chief Collection package includes multiple Halo games, all of which have been updated to keep them enjoyable for modern audiences. But what's so striking about the collection is how many ways there are to play. You can go through the campaigns by yourself. If you want to play with a friend but don't want to compete, there is co-op, allowing you to share the game stories with a partner either online or through split-screen play. If you do want to compete, you can do it locally against up to 3 other players on the same TV, or take things online to challenge the wider community. Hi-Fi Rush was a wonderful surprise when it launched, quickly becoming one of the best games to play on Game Pass. It's developed by the folks over at Tango Gameworks, the team behind The Evil Within and Ghostwire, Tokyo series. Hi-Fi Rush is a massive departure from the horror stylings that the studio is known for, instead offering up a colorful rhythm game crossed with a classic platformer. You'll play as Chai, who after a mishap at a factory, now must move to the beat. This includes everything from jumping and dodging to fighting and specials. You'll do extra damage for successfully triggering combos on the beat, with songs changing from stage to stage. There's licensed music too, with bands like Nine Inch Nails and The Prodigy lending their tracks to the game. Star Wars Jedi: Fallen Order is an action-adventure game developed by Respawn Entertainment and published by Electronic Arts. Set in the Star Wars universe, the game follows the story of Cal Kestis, a young Jedi Padawan who must evade the Empire's Inquisitors while completing his training to become a Jedi Knight. With its engaging story, challenging gameplay, and immersive Star Wars universe, Jedi: Fallen Order is a must-play for fans of the franchise. Persona 3 Reload is a remastered version of the critically acclaimed JRPG Persona 3. Developed by Atlus, Persona 3 follows the story of a group of high school students who possess the ability to summon manifestations of their inner selves, known as personas, to fight mysterious creatures called shadows. The game combines traditional RPG gameplay with social simulation elements, where players must balance their daily lives with exploring dungeons and battling shadows. Persona 3 Reload features enhanced graphics and additional content, making it a great choice for fans of the Persona series or JRPGs in general. Titanfall 2 is a first-person shooter developed by Respawn Entertainment and published by Electronic Arts. The game features fast-paced, mech-based combat, where players can pilot large, bipedal robots called Titans. Titanfall 2 offers a single-player campaign with a compelling story and innovative gameplay mechanics, as well as a multiplayer mode with a variety of game modes and customization options. With its fluid movement system, intense battles, and dynamic gameplay, Titanfall 2 is a standout title in the shooter genre. Halo Infinite is the latest installment in the iconic Halo franchise developed by 343 Industries and published by Xbox Game Studios. Set in the expansive universe of the Halo series, Halo Infinite continues the story of the Master Chief as he faces off against the Alien Covenant and the mysterious Banished. The game features a campaign mode, multiplayer modes, and the new Halo Infinite multiplayer experience, which offers a free-to-play, battle pass-driven approach to multiplayer gaming. With its stunning visuals, immersive world, and fast-paced gameplay, Halo Infinite is a must-play for fans of the series and newcomers alike. Psychonauts 2 is a platformer developed by Double Fine Productions. The game follows the story of Rasputin Razakwato, a young psychic who joins the international psychic espionage organization known as the Psychonauts. Players must explore surreal worlds, solve puzzles, and use psychic abilities to uncover the secrets of the Psychonauts and save the day. With its quirky humor, imaginative level design, and engaging story, Psychonauts 2 is a charming and unique gaming experience. We've already included the original Remnant from the ashes on our now gigantic list of best games on Xbox Game Pass, but not including its sequel would be a grievous disservice to what Gunfire Games manages to accomplish in this second outing. Remnant 2 takes us even deeper into the lore presented in the first game, and if the mysteries of the route weren't enough for you, just wait until you deep dive read up on the identity of the Keeper, what the labyrinth really is, and why the ending is the way it is. But even if you're not really into the story, Remnant 2 gives you a reason to return thanks to the fantastic way it has set up its class system. Called Archetypes, you get to combine two to create your own playstyle as you tackle the challenging bosses the game throws at you this time around. And once again, you can play it with a friend. A lot of players will never be able to get past Sunset Overdrive's attitude. It's ripe with corny fourth wall-breaking humor and zany antics. But it would be a shame to dismiss Sunset Overdrive, because its dazzling art style and speed make it one of the more propulsive open-world games available on Game Pass. Of course, this should come as no surprise from the makers of Marvel's Spider-Man for PlayStation, who cut their teeth on traversal mechanics and design here with Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive regularly takes advantage of its own best elements, the game's traversal mechanics and bright colors, to create some jaw-dropping levels with over-the-top set pieces. It has more than a handful of must-see moments. Dishonored 2 is an action-adventure stealth game developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. Set in the fictional Empire of the Isles, the game follows the story of Empress Emily Kaldwin or her father and royal protector, Corvo Attano, as they seek to reclaim the throne from an otherworldly usurper. Players can choose between stealth and direct combat approaches, with the game's narrative and world reacting to their choices. With its richly detailed world, innovative gameplay, and morally complex narrative, Dishonored 2 is a standout title in the stealth genre. Persona 5 Royal is an enhanced version of the critically acclaimed JRPG Persona 5, developed by Atlus. The game follows a group of high school students who moonlight as the Phantom Thieves, a group of vigilantes who explore the metaverse to change the hearts of corrupt individuals. Persona 5 Royal features an expanded story, new characters, and gameplay enhancements over the original Persona 5. With its stylish presentation, engaging story, and deep gameplay mechanics, Persona 5 Royal is a must-play for fans of the Persona series and JRPGs in general. While there are plenty of great game remakes in the world, none of them showcase the same degree of polish, innovation, and care that Resident Evil 2 did. This remake overhauled the original game from the ground up. Where the original was this fixed camera angle campy horror fest, RE2 Remake is a behind-the-shoulder tense collectathon that's equal parts nerve-wracking and equal parts satisfying. You can play as either Leon Kennedy or Claire Redfield, roaming the halls of the iconic Raccoon City police station in search of safety and answers. Shambling zombies patrol the hallways, so while it behooves you to be thorough in your exploration, so you can collect items to make you stronger and more capable, every new room could contain your next death screen. And that's before Mr. X and his pounding footsteps from hell show up. In Slay the Spire, you select a character and attempt to ascend a tower full of monsters and threats in a sequence of dialogue choices and card-based combat. Each character starts with a different deck of cards. You use your cards in turn-based battles as you progress up the tower. Defeat enemies and find treasure to unlock new cards and passive abilities. Build the best deck and see if you can complete the climb. Perish, and you'll have to start all over again. Slay the Spire offers a Moorish roguelike experience. Every one of your decisions matters, and, in the likely event your character meets their end, you may find yourself going back and wondering what you could have done differently. Herein lies Slay the Spire's trump card. Simply by starting another run, you can put your theories into practice. You can try a different approach and see where it lands you. This gives Slay the Spire's gameplay loop an organic ebb and flow, keeping its fans returning for more. Ghostwire, Tokyo leva os jogadores a uma versos sobrenatural e misteriosa de Tokyo, onde desaparecimentos inexplicáveis e fenômenos estranhos são comuns. O jogo combina elementos de caos e aventura com enredo intrigante, onde os jogadores utilizam habilidades sobrenaturais para combater acertos e defender a verdade por trás dos eventos misteriosos. A mistura de cultura japonesa moderna e folclore tradicional cria uma atmosfera única e envolvente. Much to the relief of many Bethesda faithful, Starfield has been receiving impressive reviews. Starfield is Bethesda's latest RPG game, taking a prolonged break from the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Bethesda's bet paid off as Starfield is Bethesda's most expansive and most ambitious RPG to date. Starfield is more than just Fallout in space, as it puts an even greater emphasis on exploring, giving players over 1,000 planets to visit. The game is nearly limitless, and that extends to its innovative new Game Plus mode, which will blow players away once they start it. Starfield is a serious Game of the Year contender, so it's amazing to have it available on release day on Xbox Game Pass. So, did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me, and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far, and until next time, bye.